The ordinary miracle of seeking, an off point rant about the paradox of the seeker. I wake up sometimes not wanting to get out of bed. Sometimes, no, many times. On some occasions, it's the smell of sweat from a hot night in a t shirt turned pajamas, or the slight fade in my pillowcase that suddenly reminds me of all the piling commitments I've made and how I just want to reset. Or sometimes my mind latches onto the incredible burden of being in a world that feels so dense, so fast, sometimes so cruel. And I find it okay to examine all the ways in which mind projects onto the world. The other day, I half made myself laugh when I stubbed my small toe against the doorpost and bleeped up my oh, bleep hell. Not like there was anyone but Milo there to listen to my yelp. I would watch very carefully as the blood gushing out of my toe would then bring to the surface some other more significant pain. The pain of an unprocessed event from a past I didn't even know I kept. Funny how the body works, how the body remembers, how a small injury becomes a portal to something one has been running from. The psychotic realization for me in all of this is the sheer joy that pours out of me when I realize what seems almost forbidden to say out loud. Even in this unbearable pain of living, that this is also permitted. It's the weirdest thing to describe, I swear. A type of joy. And it's not euphoria. It's not the absence of difficulty. Oh gosh. Those things come a dozen an hour. It's not happiness. It's a blue flame of joy. A permission that comes from nowhere and everywhere at once. Permission to ache without fixing it. Permission to laugh at the aching. Permission to exist in the contradiction. As a seeker, one of the things I imagined would happen when I finally found it, whatever it is that I was looking for, was the ecstatic joy in every circumstance. Like someone on the road would slap me on the face and I would just burst out in laughter because it's all an illusion. Or someone would cut me off in traffic and I would instantly send them a prayer of love and blessing. The next bill would come in the mail a- and kissing the open letter in its withered cheeks. I'll be so happy to not be able to afford yet another payment. What was I looking for again? Happiness? I would dare say that happiness and joy are two different yet similar things because I say so. Happiness, born out of the flux of good when bad ends. Happiness, the result of a relaxation when what is wanted is received. But joy is a different beast. It hides so subtly in the background, not concerned about happiness or the lack of happiness. My belief in finding salvation or nirvana or enlightenment or whatever it is I thought was to be found was that it would look like an ecstatic state without the use of drugs or mind altering substances. The truth is, I was looking for a version of life where the difficult parts would transform into meaning, where suffering would become enlightenment, where I could transcend the very human experience that being human called for. I was looking for a shortcut through the mess of being alive. You see, the impulse to seek that which alleviates our problems, to seek something that's outside of ourselves, is as ancient as the time we realized we could think. Every religion, every philosophy, every self help plan starts with it. The sense that something is missing and that we must go find it. We've built entire industries on this. We may stumble on a book that shows how to finally make meaning of our lives, another that promises eternal happiness, another on how to find success. Someone may have found the secret, and we want to read all about it so we finally get that secret. And somehow we realize we don't still have it. We finish up the last page only to find that the goalpost has shifted yet again. There's always another book, another course, another practice, another promise that this time, this very time, will be different. No one ever hinted that nothing was missing. So we continue searching and we keep searching till we don't find truth. And in the end, we're disappointed because it still feels out of reach. In this search, we reach exhaustion, and suddenly truth finds itself. We find something more ordinary than breathing. The mind has finally stopped dreaming and chasing a better version of life. It was always there beneath the noise of wanting, beneath even the noise of searching, underneath every goal and every fear and every elaborate plan to become better, happier, more enlightened than we are right now. It's like we've been looking for the light switch in a room we've been standing in all along. Yet we have to search. How was Jesus quoted? He said, seek and you would find. Apparently, all the effort, all the struggle is how life pulls us back into itself. The heartbreak, the ambition, the failures, the anxieties of daily living, each one rising to expose us to the next attachment, the next pain showing up as an offering or an opportunity for offering, the next struggle asking, will you please give me back into the fire of love? This is the part that doesn't fit neatly into the self help narrative. You see it? We're not here to transcend the struggle, we're here to let it teach us. Every setback, every ache, every moment where life doesn't cooperate with our plans, they're not mistakes, punishment, or mishaps. They're a type of invitation. They're the mechanism by which we are continuously brought back to what matters. So we don't stop seeking because we found anything, but because the search itself begins to dissolve, like sugar in tea, like ice on my kitchen counter in summer. What's left is what was always there, awareness tasting itself, life living itself. What's left is the divine contemplating its own reflection. The exhaustion of the search is what ripens into the joy I was describing. Not the victory of having figured it out, but instead the collapse of needing to. Eventually, all seeking ends where it began, in the immediacy of this breath, this glance, this pinky toe that still hurts, the flu that I'm recovering from, the reality of what is happening in the current economy. None of this is an improved moment, not a purified one, but this one, alive, dissolving into itself. The abyss of joy is more than a waiting somewhere beyond. It's the very fullness swallowing both the seeker and the sought. When the one looking disappears, what remains is the looking itself, quiet enough, quiet and enough, and in a state of gentle ecstasy. Oh, did I say it's not ecstasy? No, not in the way where you want to jump and scream in absolute delight. It's an ecstasy that moves your heart, knowing that all of what's happening, all of this is a bloody miracle. Our sadness, our sickness, our happiness, our love, our lust, our contentment, our discontentment. How in the world is this even happening? And that's where I often find myself laughing again at the absurdity, at the tenderness of this whole game. While I wrap up this piece, I'm wrestling with the small rebellion of wanting something salty, even though my doctor warned against it. The mind keeps making stories out of sodium levels. But under all of it, there's no real suffering, only life unfolding, pinky throbbing and all, back into the endless pulse of being